Hey everyone, it's David here. Welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Hope everyone has had a great day. So today we are going to be talking about the brand new teasers that were just released about the new Jinn spells. So first up, we have the macabre Jinn. I think that's how you say it. I have no idea. So basically, it's the death Jinn. So apparently, every school is getting a Jinn. Which is pretty incredible. I mean, each school is getting so many new spells. There's a ton of new spells in total that are coming into the game, which is good. That's something that I've always thought about. I always felt like, you know, it'd be nice if they just introduced a bunch of new spells. So this is very cool. And on top of that, you know, it's not like the former new spells, whereas they would introduce a new kind of spell, and it will only be you'd have to craft it, or you had to buy it, or you had to farm lore or whatever. But these spells, they're just giving it to you, which I do like. So macabre Jinn, 675 damage. It's a drain damage, and the ×2 gambit is 4+ blades on self. So I guess, you know, that's pretty good. It's hard for me to imagine like what's gonna happen with these Jinns because their trigger condition are all pretty similar. So I have no idea. I mean, on the surface, they all look incredibly strong. But I think if they're all strong, then it should be fine. It's not like one school is getting a Jinn and it's really strong, but every school is getting a Jinn. And so I think that'll probably balance out. I mean, I have no idea. It's hard for me to imagine what'll actually happen. We just had to wait and see what duelists do with these spells. We also have Jinn's Larceny. So it appears that not only is every school getting a Jinn, but every school is also getting another Jinn utility, 3-pip utility spell. So Jinn's Larceny, it converts 3 blades from your opponents, or up to 3 blades from your opponents, to 3 blades on yourself. Now, I've been told, I used to think that, I thought these utility spells meant like it has to meet a condition, like your opponent has to have 3 blades for you to turn those blades into your own blades. But I've been told that it's actually up to 3, right? So like even if they have 1 blade, you can still use your 3-pip utility spell and just convert their 1 blade to your 1 blade. So that's very interesting. I think that's going to be, it's going to make the meta pretty utility heavy. I mean, it is pretty utility heavy right now, but it's going to make the meta even more utility heavy. And it looks like the direction that they want to take the meta is they want to take it to the ×2 gambit meta, where you have duelists trying to fulfill their own ×2 gambit while preventing their opponent from fulfilling their ×2 gambit, which, you know, in theory, that sounds like a really good idea. How well will that be in an actual PvP match? I have no idea. I don't think anyone can just predict that. You just kind of have to launch it and see what happens. But, you know, they show me by their actions that if something does turn out to be a little bit too strong, they will go ahead and nerf it. If something is a little bit too weak, they will buff it. So, you know, they've shown that they're willing to do that. So if that is the case, then it really doesn't matter like the initial how the spells are initially, because, you know, if something is broken, it can always be corrected. But with that said, I did have people did mention in yesterday's video that even though they nerfed the damage on mana burn from 80 to 50, they made the accuracy from 100 to 85, so now you could use Pierce enchants on it, which will basically negate the nerf. So I'm not sure if KingsOut realizes that. I'm pretty sure KingsOut has heard about it by now. I mean, if I've heard about it, I had to assume KingsOut has heard about it as well. So hopefully they go ahead and fix that. Maybe they have plans to make Pierce no enchant. I have no idea. Or, I mean, I have no idea. But yeah, you should not be able to Pierce enchant the mana burn. That will be even stronger than it used to be, or the same as it used to be. So please fix that. I'm pretty sure they're already fixing that already. But if they're not, please fix that. Someone said mana burn should be actually 7 pips. I feel like you just gotta get rid of it. Like, stop trying to do all this, do all that. It's way too unnecessarily complicated. Just get rid of it. And someone said mana burns the cancer PvP, obviously. Someone said, I assume a balance main said, imagine trying to nerf Mana Burn. And someone responded saying, well, everybody's been trying to nerf Mana Burn. Well, every non-balance main. Even some balance mains know. It's crazy. Next up, we have the Iceberg Jinn. It does 740 damage. The ×2 Gambit is 4+ traps on opponents. And we also have Jinn's Vexation. Convert 3 traps on self to no. Convert 3 weaknesses on self. Yeah, these no, that's weakness. These icons are kind of confusing. Convert 3 traps on self to 3 traps on opponents. That's very interesting because a lot of gambits require you to put traps on opponents, and this is not gonna let you put traps on opponents. Sorry, weaknesses. A lot of gambits require you to put weaknesses on opponents, and this is a good counter to that. So that's very interesting. And then we have Caldera Jinn, 895 damage. ×2 Gambit is 4+ traps on opponents. And Jinn's Reversal. Convert 3 traps on self to 3 traps on opponents. So that's very interesting. So the Caldera Jinn wants you to leave traps on your opponents, whereas if you're going with the overtime style, you're obviously the opponents aren't gonna have traps on them. So that's very interesting. This is something I've noticed. I think KingsIsle is trying to make these new ×2 gambits to trigger in the opposite traditional playstyle of the school, right? So for the balanced Scion, it was if you had like I think 11 pips or more, it triggers ×2, which goes counter to the Mana Burn, which actually takes away your pips. So I think and also another thing is the Fire Scion wants you to have 2 overtimes on opponents, which goes away from the well, I have no idea what I'm saying, but the point is I think they're trying to make these ×2 gambits to be the opposite of the current traditional playstyle, just to introduce more variety and more for people to think about, which I definitely like that. It's honestly pretty genius design concepts. I really like that. Definitely introduces a lot of thinking into a PvP match. Like a lot of thinking. You're really going to be thinking about, should I really do this spell? Because what if my opponent uses that spell? Which I'm pretty sure it's going to be good for the game. I mean, again, I personally don't like to think, but I think most people that do PvP, they do like to think. So for most people that this would affect, I think people will like it. Me, I just have to suck it up, and do more thinking. But, that's basically it for the updates. I know I didn't really say much as far as my opinions on them, but that's just because it's hard for me to say which spells will be good and which spells won't be good, because, I don't know, you can't really predict what'll happen, right? Like, I'm pretty sure when they came up with Lore Master, they just thought, whatever. Right, when they came out with Mana Burn, they probably just thought, whatever. And by the way, I'm pretty sure those spells were both made up by the same person, and that person probably never PvPs. So just be careful with that. But yeah, when you come up with spells, you don't really know how it's gonna do until it's actually, until people actually use them and find ways to use them. So yeah, I mean, with that said, that's basically it for today's video. Very short and simple video. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you in the next one. Until next time, see ya.
Ever since the day that you